to my channel. Welcome to today's video. I've just made myself a lovely, cup of tea, and I'm just about to brew myself a coffee. I always start the day with a cup of tea, let myself wake up a little bit, and then have my coffee. So I'm gonna make a cup of coffee in a sec. And I just spent early this morning, it's really early, Lauren's been outside in the garden with the babies, and I've just spent a good chunk of this morning going through my fridge, freezer in the house and fridge and freezer in the garage, and also my cupboards and stuff like that, because my house is absolutely crammed to the brim of food, and not a lot of it is making sense. And the thing is, it's crammed with a lot of batch cooking food and new ingredients, because what I'm trying to do is store lots of batch cooking things just because it's so easy. Then now I'm ending up with absolutely no space in my freezers for sure, and my fridge is like really packed. So I just thought, you know what, let's save money on our food shop this week and not go food shopping. I'm gonna go food shopping just for like the absolute bare essentials. So fresh vegetables, I think we only need a broccoli. I really am craving asparagus lately, and I think asparagus is in season, so asparagus. I'm low-key like freaking out, by the way, because Jasper is asleep upstairs on his own at the moment. And normally he contacts naps and stuff like that, so I kind of miss him. Yeah, so I've gone through fridge, freezer, and inside and outside, and my cupboards, and I've just got together in my head like all the stuff that we've got and we need to start eating. And I really just want to start clearing out the freezers, especially because I like to batch cook and I like to like make doughs, and they're just not fitting in the freezer anymore. I've made a list of what I'm going to be making, so I'll film some of the meals that we're having this week. But the best thing you can do if you're like me and you just start feeling like all the cupboards are getting a bit jam-packed and all the fridges and stuff, is just go through and take even if it's a mental note, but it is good to write it down. But I found like loads of jerk seasoning that I forgot we had, so we're going to have jerk chicken this weekend. I found Old Bay seasoning, so we're going to have like Old Bay fish, and there's tons of potatoes, and I've got mayonnaise, and I've got tons of spring onion in the fridge, so I'm going to make a really nice potato salad and just keep that in the fridge. And we've got yogurt and we've got coconut milk and stuff like that, so there's so much that was there, sitting there, that I need to do something with. So this is my dinner list. I'm going to be making, in the next few days, I'm going to be making fragrant rice with crispy tofu. I think we're gonna have that for tonight's dinner because I cooked loads of rice last night. Always cook your starchy carbs the night before, so rice, pasta, keep your freezer in the bread, even potatoes, although I find potatoes I can never reheat very well. It completely changes like starch content the next day when you eat it, and it's just better for you. So we're gonna have fragrant rice and tofu. So I've got loads of rice in the fridge waiting to be fried up today, and we'll do that with the tofu. Tomorrow is meant to be the hottest day of the week. It's gonna be 25 degrees. Unreal. So tomorrow we might have like a sort of barbecue-y type thing, like jerk chicken with salad, and I might make a potato salad with that. So barbecue jerk chicken, and we've got loads of sausages, so maybe we'll throw a sausage on there. I've got tons of like frozen meals, but particularly frozen spag bowl, so we need to have spag bowl this week. I've got loads of spaghetti, so that'll work out nicely. I've got a massive, like a kilo worth of frozen mushrooms sitting in the freezer, so I'm going to make a lemon garlic mushroom tagliatelle spaghetti dish this week. That one is so nice on a warm day, and it's really easy to make. It's pretty much a cupboard essential meal if you're like me and always have mushrooms in the house. I'm going to make a chicken veggie pie. I just need to check the pastry that's in the fridge because it is out of date, but hopefully it'll be okay. But I'm going to make a chicken mushroom pie and freeze that, so hopefully I'll have to do that later in the week when I've got a bit more space in the freezer. I made this meal a few days ago. I found this recipe on Facebook. Facebook is so good for recipes. People just share their recipes. But I found this recipe on Facebook, and it was a sausage honey chili soy sausage spaghetti thing. It was so good. It was so good. Like a weird combination of flavours, but so delicious. So I'll pop that on the screen here. So I'm going to make that this week as well because we really enjoyed that and I wanted to show you. I'm going to be making wraps. I know lots of you have been asking for the wraps that I made the other week. So I'm going to be making those again for the freezer and for dinner. Not tonight, but maybe tomorrow. Pizzas, because I've got pizza dough already in the freezer, so I just need to take that out one morning and defrost. Burgers, I've got nice beef mince in the freezer, and I'm going to be making some buttery soft rolls this week. And then I'm going to be making some snacks, so flapjacks, cheese scones, banana OT, bakes. And then I want to make bread rolls and wraps this week. So we've got a busy few days ahead of us. I hope you're ready for the ride. This morning I made Orion's lunch and I put in one of his, I made him pasta and I put in one of my pasta sauce ice cubes, which is a little gingerbread man, so I'll insert that here. But he really loves watching that in the morning. Then I stir it around with a bit of hot water and it melts and it's like a nice pasta salad. I cook his pasta the day before always, just because it's better for your tummy that way. So I've already done that this morning. I feel like I've achieved a lot this morning. So yeah, let's get on with the day. I'm actually going to just start making some bread rolls now, so join me with that. Instead of bread rolls right now, I'm actually going to make them wraps. So I'm going to put the wraps ingredients here. I'm going to double the recipe. I find that if you want to start batch cooking or having lots of food in the freezer and also saving money on groceries and things, just double recipes and make 2 of everything. So like when we make lasagna, we make 2 lasagnas and then freeze tons and stuff like that. So the same with wraps. I'm going to make double quantities and make lots of wraps. The only thing I haven't got is parchment paper, so I'm going to have to put them in tinfoil paper. So let's see how it goes.
Funny that.
Guys, that is, oh Alexa, pause. Those are my wraps. They are really hit and miss for me at the moment. The recipe I used today, I just use a touch more. This is the one I'm going to give you because I really do think it tastes the best. I just used a touch too much wetness in the mixture, so it was really difficult rolling them out, but they're chewy, delicious, they taste char grilled. I have to say, I really am thinking about investing in a pizza oven one day, and they would cook so flipping well in a pizza oven. Like they would have that smoky, gorgeous, woody flavour. Just anything, this is better than anything you can buy in the supermarkets. I think the flaxseed is, like, it is optional, but I actually think it's such an important part of these wraps because you want to give yourself some fibre. Our food these days just doesn't have fibre in it. Have fun with it. Add seeds in where you can, like add fibre in where you can. And wraps by nature is literally flour and oil and water. Like it's a really, there's no nutrition. The nutrition is what you're going to add into the wraps. And as you saw, like with pancakes, the first wrap for me is always like really skew with. It's always like the weird one. So I always end up eating that first one as I'm cooking the rest. And I ate it with some leftover chicken I had in the fridge and some red onion and some mayo, and it was delicious. So it's what you put in the wrap obviously means, and you could put loads of fibre in the wrap. So if flaxseed you can't get hold of or it's not on your budget at the moment, just put fibre in it. But if you just want to add more fibre into your wraps, do add flaxseed. They've got no flavour when they're in your wraps. To freeze them now, so I'm going to freeze them quite quickly because you want them to stay moist. But look at that, that's a lot of wraps. I'm going to put them in half. 2 bags of wraps frozen, so we'll have them chicken fajitas. I'm going to leave one out actually in a warm tea towel, and Oren can have that as part of his dinner tonight. He's going to have wraps. We're having tofu rice, and he doesn't like tofu. He doesn't like tofu. He will try it, but I'll make him chicken wraps or something, chicken cheese salad-y wrap thing. Okay, so let's pop these in the freezer, ready for another day. Ready for another day. Okay, tonight's dinner directly from the fridge. We've got rice that I cooked yesterday, veggies that have been sitting in the fridge this week, eggs, sesame seed oil and tofu that we've had for a week or two that needs eating, and we're going to have like a tofu egg fried rice dish. Egg fried rice is super simple. My biggest tip is you have to cook the rice the day before. I know people are a bit funny about that, but this is how proper egg fried rice is made. It's made with 24-hour rice. The reason you cook it before is because it needs to be tacky, it needs to be sort of stuck together, a bit more starchy. The thing that makes rice dangerous to eat is if it hasn't been cooled down properly. So if you cook rice and leave it on your kitchen side at room temperature for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, that's when that bacteria is going to form. You need to put it straight in the fridge. But yeah, this is my crispy tofu rice. We cooked the tofu first, and then I added some veggies that I found in the freezer, and it's delicious. Really a simple meal to make and really good for you. The next morning I have started making this milk and honey bread, which I'm going to turn into rolls and hot dog rolls, which obviously I'm going to tell you about in a minute. But I've left this recipe down below. I also have a TikTok account if you want to follow that. But yeah, it's a really super simple bread recipe. The only thing I didn't do was let it rise for long enough just before baking, but yeah, it's really delicious bread. Good morning, it's the next day, and I this morning have started making some buttery bread rolls. So they're really similar to like brioche rolls, but not quite brioche. I've never made brioche, but I think there's like a very particular technique to it in order to call it brioche. So I can't call them brioche, but they're buttery, and I add honey into them. They also go so well with sunflower seeds, but I don't have any sunflower seeds, and I can't be bothered to go to the shops today. And we're trying not to go to the shops. We're only going for essentials. So yeah, they're going to be really nice. I'm hoping tonight Lauren's going to whip the barbecue out and we're going to have a barbecue, just a mini one. Burgers, I've got some mince in the freezer. Get that out, that mince. And yeah, I'm going to go do that now, actually, get that mince out. It's an absolutely beautiful day outside. It's going to be the last really good day for a couple of weeks, I think. Classic England, that gives us like a hint of like hot weather and then it takes it away from us, but that's okay. So I'm going to try and enjoy it today, and like when Oren comes home from forest school, we're going to have like ice cream in the garden and play with bubbles and just like go full on England summer mode, just whilst it lasts. Yeah, so my bread rolls are now going for their second proof. So I proved them in a warm kitchen, dropped Oren off at forest school, Jasper's down for a sleep. Got to get on with stuff. So the bread's going for its second proof. If you're new to bread, it just takes a few times before you build your confidence up, but essentially you need to let it prove. You need to let it, like the yeast, do its thing. And this bread is so bubbly, it smells incredible, but the bubbles all form and it's already smelling really good. So it's going for its second proof, and then I'll probably shape them and bake them. I need to find a tray that I can bake them in, because the old tray that I used to, I threw away because it was one of those non-stick. But anyway, let's get on with the day. I've just got some breakfast burritos out of the freezer. These are frozen breakfast burritos. They've got egg, bacon, mushrooms in. I usually add things like hash browns and stuff. It goes really, really well. But yeah, so they're out of the freezer. I'm going to pop them in the air fryer now. So to cook them, you can just wrap them in tin foil or something. I don't like to use tin foil too much. But tin foil, a little bit of olive oil, and just leave them in the air fryer for a while. If you've got a thermometer, I will link my best one down below. Just make sure the inside is above like 65. I mean, that even might be too hot, but just heat it up, you know, most of it's cooked anyway. I'll link the video where I cook the breakfast burritos. And I also just got some beef mince out of the freezer because tonight, hopefully if my rolls go well, we're having burgers for dinner. But let's cook some breakfast burritos. It's actually lunchtime. Lawrence and I, neither of us have eaten, so we're both hungry, so we're gonna have 2 each. But they are fairly small. They're like the size of my hand. I've got this square tin, which I'm going to put them in. Also, I'm about to boil some water because I've got a couple of bags of miniature potatoes. Sorry, this top's a bit ruined. Miniature potatoes that I'm going to parboil and I'm going to turn into a potato salad. We've got an awake baby. He is wearing the cutest outfit, vintage, no less. How gorgeous is this? It's just so cute. I love it. Anyway, so he's not sleeping, so I've got a little while. I'm going to shape my bread rolls, get them ready to bake. You bake them with the lid on for a while, so I'm probably going to use that green cast iron pan that I use a lot. So I'm going to do that. And then we've got to finish off the potato salad. Then I'm going to sit in the garden with my babe, give him some milkies and more loving. Yeah? And then, yeah. Bread rolls are ready now. I'm going to punch them down, shape them into balls and let them rise in this. If you haven't got one of these, I will link like the most affordable one I can find that I do think is of decent quality. And there's no point in buying cheap if it isn't good quality and breaks. So I will link the cheapest but best quality one that I can find. But yeah, let's make some bread rolls. Okay, just eating my breakfast wraps whilst the breads rise. These are stunning. Mushrooms are just the best, aren't they? Well, you don't know that yet. Don't worry, I've let it completely cool down before I'm eating it because I know I'm wearing him. And it's not going to be warm on you if I do spill some. So that's delicious. Oh, I need a cup of tea. I need a cup of tea. I've not had a cup of tea today, I've been too busy. Oh yeah, what's this? I have to deliver the devastating news to Lawrence that our burgers will be slightly smaller than anticipated because the beef mince is 400 grams, not 500. So, burgers, hot dogs, potato salad, corn. Is that funny? A cup of tea and a chill in the garden because it's 25 degrees, although it's actually a bit too warm. I'm gonna be that person. It's actually a bit too warm. No, it's nice. It's nice for me, but like when you're a mum, you're just like, too warm for my baby, so I can't sit out here. Anyway, cup of tea of choice, as always, dandelion. I love a dandelion tea. Green tea in the morning, dandelion for the rest of the day. Don't you think, Jasper? Let's get on with these bread rolls. They're almost doubled in size, and then I'm going to bake them. A good potato salad requires mayonnaise, a good amount of seasoning, so black pepper and Himalayan sea salt I use, and mustard. Mustard is a must. Dijon mustard is actually the prime mustard to use in a potato salad, and what also works really, really well is some dill. I only had dried dill that day. I am trying to grow dill in the garden. Apparently, once it's established, it grows quite well in the garden. So fingers crossed for me. And I also found lots of red onions sitting in the fridge, which I diced up and threw in there. I made enough potato salad to last 3 to 4 days as our sort of carbs for that week. It was a great way of using up potatoes that needed using. And yeah, just a great thing to have in your fridge. I'm now making my bread rolls. So with the bread rolls, I basted them with a little bit of melted butter and honey mixed in together, and it makes them like really sweet, just similar to brioche but a little bit healthier and obviously non-ultra processed. And yeah, this is our barbecue: sausages, halloumi, we had mini burgers, and hot dogs. It was such a nice meal. The next day, I actually had spag bowl, which was frozen in the freezer. I didn't get to film anything beyond that clip because I have a 4-month-old with chickenpox at the moment. And that is the pros of having an older sibling, I suppose. You catch all of their illnesses, and he got chickenpox from his 3-year-old brother. So I have had a baby in my arms at all times for the last few days. Like, I have not been able to put him down, so he's always in the carrier. And unfortunately, that means filming this week has been difficult, but I wanted to show you the pizzas that I've made this week as well. Again, using stuff out of the fridge and freezer, I forget that I can just make a lot of things as well. Like, my cupboards are full of flour and seeds and yeast and all that stuff. So I've been making lots of bread this week, including mini pizzas for Oren's Forest School lunch boxes. So mini pizzas is just pizza dough. I use the Jamie Oliver pizza dough recipe, which I'll link down below. Super duper simple. It makes tons of pizza. I made about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I had to literally count that just as I'm editing. About 8 mini pizzas. And then I made 3 medium to large pizzas, which we had for dinner that night and lunch the next day. The mini pizzas, you just make them up, and then I don't cook them there and then. You can actually cook them and just rewarm them the next day in the microwave. I freeze them uncooked, so I just put the homemade tomato sauce on. With the tomato sauce, you can actually blend in chestnut mushrooms and aubergine. It works really well. Just cook the mushrooms beforehand, just fry them in butter. And yeah, I freeze them. I just line them with parchment paper, stack them, put them in a pot, and pop that pot in the freezer. And then I grab one out in the morning, cook it in the air fryer for 5 to 10 minutes, and that will go in Oren's lunch boxes this week. Just such an easy thing to put in, and he loves pizza. Pizza is his favorite food though. I'm glad that I've learned to make it from scratch so well now, because I don't rely on like store-bought things, and then I know I'm giving him something a little bit healthier. Pizza that night, we also had, as you can see, there is a baby strapped to me at all times. But Oren just had mozzarella. He loves a mozzarella pizza. I have roasted garlic, so I crush garlic, fresh garlic on top of mine. I have lots of basil leaves, sweet corn, pepperoni, capers. I didn't have any red onion, and I do believe red onion on pizza is the best, but oh well, I didn't have it that night. But yeah, so I've got lots of mini pizzas in the freezer, and we had a yummy pizza dinner that night. I hope you enjoyed, and subscribe for part 2 coming soon. Bye!